Hi, welcome back. I'm Vera Lee, if you don't know me from before. My last video got the most views I've ever gotten on YouTube, so thank you guys so much. I do want to say, before we get into everything we're going to talk about today, I am trying to grow a really small little channel. I've just finally got my first 100 views ever, so thank you so much for being here. The fact that my videos have been watched 100 times is kind of blowing my mind. But also, I came here on purpose. I came here with a mission. I want to make sure that I am getting the word out to people. So I don't expect you to decide right now. I'm not going to tell you like, follow, subscribe, blah, 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 when I literally just got here and started talking about myself. But I am going to ask, if you do enjoy this talk, or if you enjoy my videos already, would you please give the video a like and comment down? Any comment you can do, even if it's just like, oh, this is something I've thought about before. You don't have to get personal. You are welcome to. I will personally read and respond to all the comments. There's no one else here. It's just me. And if you can't think of what to say, tell me what you're drinking. I am drinking a decaf sugar-free hazelnut latte with organic coconut milk, which this is the first time I've ever bought it, and I totally bought it because I was avoiding a really awkward situation at Trader Joe's with someone who was having a very hard time just picking her milk and didn't want to talk about it. It's fine, everything's fine. But actually, it's really good. It really, the snozberries taste like snozberries. That's the moment I'm having. Like, it really actually tastes like coconut. Are we gonna do squeaky toys while your mom's on the camera? My girl. She is gonna do squeaky toys while I'm on the camera. So many levels of charm. Miss Daisy May, would you like to come and see the camera? Come here. Hazel's coming. Do you guys want to meet Hazel? Hazel! Oh. This is Hazel's Grace. Okay. She will be 1 next month. She's still a baby. Just a baby. Daisy, come here. Bring it. Come here. Come on. Come here. Bring it. Come here. She is not going to bring it. She's going to squeak and look at me like, why aren't we playing? Even though I tried to play with her before I started recording. Anyway, introductions aside, let's just kind of get into it. Okay, I had to confiscate the squeaky fox. She will probably punish me for that later. If you have a dachshund, you know. If you don't know and you would like to know, go check out my Instagram because she is all over it. So, this video is going to be very like a very personal view of something I think we can all relate to, and that is decentering men and using your voice. I think those are really intrinsically tied because as women, I think we most alter or like dampen or stifle our voices due to the men in our lives. And if you didn't watch my last video and you want to say anything about decentering men, please check that one out. But the gist of it is that decentering men does not mean hating them. It doesn't mean they've done, you know, it doesn't mean all men have done something wrong. And it's also not about just sitting and constantly having that debate, because that's kind of a waste of time. Decentering men, to me, has been really personal in that so much of my life has been determined and dictated around the decisions, not even the decisions, the way that my decisions would impact the men in my life or what the men in my life would think about it. I'm turning 30 this year, and I feel like I'm finally living my own life for myself. Finally, but before I got to that point, I went through abusive and toxic relationships, like one after another. I was sexually assaulted by more than one of my exes, and I had a really traumatic childhood, but grew up with a lot of respect for the male figures in my life, despite the things that they had done, or the things that I had witnessed, or things that they had failed to do to protect me as a child. And decentering men to me doesn't mean like coming for those people. It doesn't mean attacking them. It doesn't mean that I hate them. But it does mean taking a look at the ways that my behavior changed around them and getting curious about it. It means allowing myself to not only be curious, but also to name things, to name experiences that I had, to name wrongs that I feel were done to me, to name patterns that I see and be willing to change them. I've been working on growing my small business, and I've talked with you guys about this a little more. I'll probably do a more in-depth video specifically about growing a business later. But one of the things I'm doing to grow it is actually growing my Instagram account and trying to reach more people who are aligned with my ideal audience. And my ideal audience is women who are growing small businesses, essentially. And this all ties together because I've learned that when we speak up, when we earn an income, when we have flexibility, when we have options from the way that we present ourselves to the way that we earn the living that pays our bills, we show up differently. We show up, we can show up really small, we can show up as victims, we can show up really fearfully and kind of be like resource guarding or like just self-protective and scared and small when we're afraid of how our decisions and our words are going to cause the men in our lives to look at us or feel about us. And when you have options, the thing is like we operate from such a confident, expansive, warm and loving place. And I think a lot of that resource guarding goes away, and instead we begin to actually focus on community. Daisy, would you like to come up? Kenny. This is Daisy. She has come to talk to me about the fox I stole from her. I will give it back. But right now we're talking to YouTube. Do you see YouTube? No? You don't see? There you go, you see him. Good job. Is that all? Can I finish now? I love you. You are definitely going to hear her walking around and eating in the background. I'm so sorry. A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. But anyway, when we're not constricted and like trying to appease or impress or not make uncomfortable the men in our lives, for me it was not making them worry, which we can get into as well. When you're not doing all of that, you tend to be more friendly. Like you're more willing to compliment the stranger in front of you and to ask questions or like ask someone where they got something or be willing to offer assistance. Like even in the grocery store when this woman was having a hard time choosing what kind of milk she wanted. And I'm a connoisseur of non-dairy milks. I know my non-dairy milks, and I was able to like discuss with her like, hey, did you need some help? Like, are you wondering what certain ones taste like? I've tried almost all of them. Personally, for me, I wouldn't do that kind of stuff if I was in a hurry to get home to my man or if he was there with me and I know that he doesn't like to talk to people at the store. And these are just like little bitty examples, but in a culture, in a society, and in relationships where we center our lives around men, please excuse the dog sounds if you can hear them. In this world where we center our lives around men, those little tiny things add up because that question we asked a stranger or the smile that we gave somebody or the willingness to help and have a discussion about something we have experience with, those are really important human connections and they add up and they ripple. So if we don't have that discussion with somebody, we don't offer that help, that might be the only time that person would have felt seen and cared for and acknowledged in society like at all that day. That's really possible. And I know this personally because there have been so many times where when I was unhappy in my marriage and I felt like I couldn't talk to my friends about it because they'd already heard it a million times and I didn't have family to go to because they wouldn't approve or they wouldn't understand, or they were busy with their own men and they just didn't care. There were so many times that I went to a store or I went to a coffee shop or I just walked down the street by myself hoping someone would smile back at me or engage with me somehow. And I don't know, it makes me a better person to not be so focused on the man in my life that I forget that everybody else in this world is human too, and that I stop functioning in ways that I normally would if I were not having this like deep tie to a man. I hope that makes sense. And if that's incredibly personal and doesn't tie into your life at all, awesome. I'd actually be really glad to hear that. But I do know from the friends that I've talked with and the people in my life that it is a really common experience too, and it's not just me, even though at times it felt like it because I was so isolated. So that's kind of the whole point right here. But when we Decenter Men, we are more active in our community, whether it's in these little tiny grocery store instances or it's filling our weekends with volunteering because we don't have someone that we're sitting at home with. or going out on Fridays and being part of an actual club or a community or a group of friends and getting involved and making something or learning something new or having discussions and having this flow of ideas and interaction that isn't just happening within that vacuum of a relationship or a household. Does that make sense? Tell me what you think about that. Tell me if any of that is relatable to you. Like I said, my channel is really small here and I don't have a lot of back and forth interaction yet, so I'm really going based off lived experiences and conversations with my friends. But this is a space for you too, and I don't want to be, again, just another echo chamber. This is our community, our space. So I don't say anything that I say on this channel wanting to come from a space of like moral superiority. I am an eldest daughter and I was definitely a parentified child, and I had to grow up really, really young, really fast. I had to think like an adult a lot faster than a lot of people, and I think that I got a lot of sense of control and reassurance and whatnot from school and education and from being top of my class, and like I had all those straight A's and I had everything organized, and it was my job to know where things were and how they worked. So I feel like I'm very afraid sometimes that comes off as like I'm better than you up on my. So we've had that talk about decentering men. The other thing that I mentioned a little bit before was how having options changes us. It changes the way we interact and we engage with our communities. And this is a really big part of my small business, but more than that, it's part of why I'm actually trying to have an audience online now. I was a social media manager for several years before I started this business with my old business. And I didn't focus on numbers ever. Like I told people, I want you to have 10 fans, just 10. I don't want you to have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, whatever. We are about having those people who are really engaged, who really get it, because at the end of the day, a bunch of people clapping for you is not going to keep a roof over your head. You need the people that actually want what you're offering and want it enough to really work with you in a deep way. I tended to work with people that were trying to help really change people's lives, and it took, 30 to 90 day processes, and it took a lot of hard work, and they were fitness trainers or life coaches or business coaches even. And so those few really strong connections mattered a lot more than getting mass views. And this time something that's changed for me is that I feel like it actually is important for a lot of people to get the message and things that I'm learning. It feels important to share that, and it's not about the sales anymore. I mean, I still need to keep a roof over my head, and I have business's purpose is to make money. And I'm building a business that impacts my community positively, and so I know that the money that my business makes is going to be really important and impactful in the world around me. And so the money is important to me, yes. I don't want to be trying to say it's not. But at the same time, I still am focusing on like the 10 people for the money. The reason I want a large following, the reason I want to reach a big audience is because I think the messages now and the lessons that I've learned and the things that I've gone through and how hard they were to go through are so common, actually. It's not that I went through crazy things that nobody else has ever gone through. I think I get told a lot that I am brave and that people admire the boldness and the courage and the crazy things that I will go and do, and the way that I'm not afraid to be embarrassed or be wrong or to be, seen as silly and to fail in public or to care too much on camera. But I don't think that these experiences I have, or even these parts of me that people say they admire, I don't think that that is so special and unique, but I think that it is kind of hidden and veiled and not appreciated enough in every single one of us. And as I approach 30, I'm going through a lot of experiences as a woman and as a human being where I'm just realizing that it could have been so much easier getting here, and also that so many of us are alone going through the exact same things. So I want to put this message out there. I want to share the things that I share because I want people to know that they're not alone. They're not the only one going through it. The mean things that they think about themselves or the things that they're afraid of, they're not necessarily true. And if they are true, it's not the end of the world. It's not like, what are you eating? Can you not eat that? Thank you. Anyway, they're not, the things that they're going through are not the end of the world. And their pain is just valid. And people need to know that, because when we don't know that, sometimes we shut down, or we hold back, or we put ourselves in bad situations, or we trust people who don't have our best interests at heart, simply for the fact that it makes more sense to us, that someone is telling us with confidence something, whether it's true or not. And what we feel and think in our own hearts doesn't feel confident, and so we trust that confident voice even if it's harmful to us. And I think that is how so much toxicity, so much abuse, even things like fascism, like what's going on in our government right now, I think so much of that is that the people who care are kind of being invalidated, or being told that the way that they care is silly, or being told that they care too much, or that the things that they care about are things that they can have no impact over. And so they're hesitating, and they're reevaluating, and they're trying to see another angle and understand another perspective, and they're trying to be polite, and they're just trying to figure so much out, while the other people who have no question about it and are just acting with blind confidence and aren't considering and being thoughtful and compassionate, they just go, 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 go. They don't stop and take that reflection time. And I think that can largely be men, which is part of why it comes back to decentering men as well. I hope that connection kind of, I'm being very distracting, my dear. Anyway, I hope that connection kind of makes itself, but if it doesn't and you want me to talk more about it, let me know. I don't know why they're being so active right now. I swear, as soon as I turn on the camera, all the animals just go crazy. Daisy, leave it alone. Go on. Okay, apparently we're having baby hours, so I'm going to tap out for this little episode here. I think it was a bit shorter than usual. Honestly, let me know if you like that or not. I feel like we did not get down as deep as I would like to into any of these points, but I know my videos are usually pretty long too, so yeah, let me know. Tell me what you think. I'm going to keep trying new things and doing my best to reach more people, because I do think that it's important that we learn, all of us together, even with the mistakes, even with the embarrassing bits, even with the messy puppy sounds. I think it's important that we all learn to value ourselves, to trust our opinions and our perspectives, even as we listen to others and have compassion for other people. I think it's important that we have options and that we engage with the world around us, even when we're not perfect, even before we feel ready. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week. Maybe we'll talk about business next week. I think that would be really fun. I'm going to be super, super sad if this video sits on the internet. Excuse me. Can I have 1 more minute? Thank you. I will be so sad though if this video sits on the internet until my next one, until next week, and there's not one single comment. So please, if you've enjoyed any of my content at all, leave it a comment. Be my first ever YouTube comment. Begging you guys. And let me know what you love, what you want to see more of, why you're even here in the first place, how you got here. That's all. And, you know, leave Daisy a compliment because she loves him. I don't know. Okay, I will continue embarrassing myself on Instagram this week, so go and see if you'd like. And if not, I will see you for another video next Wednesday. Bye! Oh, now you're quiet?